Welcome to the Fall 2017 celebration of graduation. Commence with the afternoon procedures.
Special thanks to our orchestra today who have done a great job. Well, this is our second ceremony today. We began at 10 a.m. with another wonderful group of Lee College graduates. And so I want to welcome everybody here to the Fall 27 commencement ceremonies. We couldn't be prouder of those who are in front of me here today, those who are graduating. Wow, you make us very, very proud. Of course, as proud as you make us, even more so, this great group of folks who are here today to celebrate with you one of the most important milestones in your life. I would like to thank Karen Guthmiller, one of our longtime faculty, for serving as our Grand Marshal today and for bringing up the mace, which is right here, a very long time tradition in higher education and certainly at Lee College. It is my pleasure at this time to bring forward Ms. Dominique Genevieve Rogers, who will do the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation by Mr. Sean Roger Lewis. So Dominique and Sean, if you'd come forward, and I would ask everybody to please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we come to you today to thank you for this time of graduation. As we prepare to walk across this stage and receive our diplomas, let us walk in gratitude of the many blessings that have made this moment a reality. Bless the professors and administrators that have challenged us and helped us along our academic journey. Bless our families who have made sacrifices for us to achieve this accomplishment. God, may you bless every graduate as we move on to the next chapter in our lives where more challenges will be faced and more will be demanded of us. Lord, we ask that you grant us direction, purpose, and perseverance as we begin to enjoy the successes of our labor, and may we earn our successes in a way that will bring glory and honor to you. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
You may be seated. Dominique and Sean, thank you very, very much for being a part of our ceremony this afternoon. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce to you the Chairman of the Lee College Board of Regents, Mr. Pete Alfaro. Mr. Alfaro?
Welcome to each of you. We're very, very happy to have you, as Dr. Brown said. Regents, President's Cabinet, faculty, staff, ladies and gentlemen, to our graduates, we say congratulations. To the parents, spouses, children, and friends of our graduates, we appreciate you all for your support and encouragement. We applaud you, Lee College. Lee College has a tradition of over 80 years of excellence in education. This tradition is based on the lifeblood of the college. Please join me in thanking the faculty of the college with a round of applause. How about applause in our faculty? To all of our graduates, you have arrived here today because of what you have accomplished. And although this afternoon is a commencement of achievement, it is also the beginning of the next stage in the quest of your personal, educational, and career goals. You are great off to great places, and you will make a significant impact in so many people's lives. And please continue to be part of the community you happen to be in. Participate in that community, because a community is only as good as the people that live in that community. So do your part. So without further ado, let me just say, God bless you and your families, and may you have a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. God bless you, each of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Alfaro. Wow, graduates, what a special day this is. My guess is that years ago, you probably had a dream, and you weren't sure whether or not that dream was going to come true. But guess what? It did. But as always, and as you have experienced in your lives and through the remainder of your lives, this is just one of your dreams. But it's a very, very important dream. Because not only have you done something special for yourself, but you've done something special for those who will follow in your footsteps. And isn't it exciting at this time of year when it's all about joy and celebration and family and friends, that today at our ceremony, not only do you get to experience this important milestone in your life, but you get to experience it with all of those of who you love and care for. So graduates, if you'll do me a favor, would you stand? Would you turn around? And would you thank all of your family and friends who helped you get here today? You may be seated. This might be a surprise to a lot of folks, but a lot of individuals in our society have not chosen the path that you did. They've not gone to college. And the one thing that I can say to you, graduates, that I have learned over the many, many years in working in higher education and mostly in community colleges, is that what you have earned, oh yes, today you've earned your certificate or degree. But what you have earned will be with you forever. You know, I always think about what it is that people can take from us, because there's a lot of things they can take from us, but they can't take your education. It is yours forever, and it will serve you well as you move forward. Some of you into the workforce, some of you moving on to a university. It will always be there and will always be a part of who you are. But going back to something I said a moment ago, you have some footsteps that you have followed and left. And those footsteps are going to be followed by those who come behind you. Brothers, sisters, family members, friends. Yes, you've done it. If there was one thing that I could say to everybody here today and anyone else who would listen, go to college, and go to college right away. Because in our society, a higher education at whatever level is the ticket to your future and the ticket to a wonderful career and a ticket to a prosperous career. So each and every one of you have worked hard, taken tests, studied, been in group sessions, wrote papers. Now, do you think that's over with? Just for today. Just for today. Because your education does not end. It's always going to be there. You're always going to be educating yourself. But for today, whew, okay, we can put that to the side and we can celebrate. As Mr. Alfaro mentioned about our faculty and staff, what an amazing, talented group of individuals who work hard every day with you to help you achieve that dream. So graduates in particular, of course everybody can join in, but once again graduates, let's thank those folks who helped you get where you're going to be today and most importantly tomorrow. Let's thank them once again. I'm very blessed to have a 9-member Board of Regents to work with. They are volunteers from this community who serve to ensure that this institution is not only a good institution, but a great institution. There are 50 community colleges in the state of Texas, and we are one of those. But I dare say, without boasting, we are the best. Why? I have never seen a Board of Regents, a faculty, a staff, and a community who have come together to support this institution in the manner that it is. And it's because of those folks that we have the opportunity to be here today and to celebrate something very, very important to each one of you. I also have the pleasure of working with a very, very talented President's Cabinet, an administrative team who day in and day out has the goal of supporting our faculty, our staff, and each and every one of you. And in just a moment, I will be introducing our Board of Regents to you and also our administration. I always try to take a point of personal privilege at these ceremonies and thank someone in my life who has been very important, because I know you've each had many people in your lives who have gotten you here today. But I wanted to introduce and recognize my wife, Dr. Darlene Brown, who's sitting in the back. Thank you, Darlene, for being a part of my education. I would like to ask everybody, commencement ceremonies are really, really special, and they're opportunities for us to celebrate, but they're also, somewhat solemn opportunities because it's just, commencement goes back so long, and it's such a tradition. And so if you have a cell phone, if you put it on vibrate, that would be great. And as we go through the ceremony, if you'll give us the attention to all of the folks on the platform who are going to be speaking, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated. So let me introduce some of the great folks that are on our platform today. I'd like to first introduce our Board of Regents. We have 4 representatives from our board that are here today. I'll read their name, and then I'll ask you I'll ask them to stand, and then I'll ask you, once we get all 4 of them introduced, we'll give them a round of applause. So I've already introduced our chairman, Mr. Pete Alfaro. Mr. Alfaro, if you'd stand. Dr. Keith Coburn, who's a member of our Board of Regents. Mr. Coburn, if you would stand. Ms. Susan Moore-Fontenot, also a member of our Regents. And Mr. Gilbert Santana, one of the newest member of our Board of Regents, if you would stand. Let's give them a round of applause. Now to that really, really talented group of folks who make this institution and provide the leadership to this institution that helps ensure that we continue to be the premier higher education provider for our region and beyond. So again, let me introduce them, and then we'll give them all a round of applause. And if you'd stand as I read your name. Our Chief Information Officer, Dr. Carolyn Lightfoot. Our Executive Director of Institutional Research, Effectiveness and Planning, Dr. Michael Fleming. Our Dean of Applied Sciences, Captain Leighton Childress. He's a captain. Our Dean of Academic Studies, Dr. Onimi Wilcox. Our Vice President of Instruction, Dr. Veronique Tran. Our Vice President of Student Affairs, Dr. Donetta Souchon. Our Executive Vice President, Dr. Christina Ponce. Our Vice President of Finance and Administration, Steve Evans. And the next person that I'm going to introduce, our Registrar, Scott Bennett. Now, why do I pause for a moment? Because this ceremony wouldn't be this ceremony if it wasn't for Scott and his fabulous team taking care of each and every one of the details. And Scott, we very, very much appreciate it. And Donetta, we also very much appreciate the work that you do with Scott to make this happen. So let's give all of these folks a round of applause. So you noticed I turned around for a moment because one time I left somebody off, and so I always have to make sure that I got everybody. I also want to acknowledge our assembly presidents. These are folks who provide leadership to each of their respective assemblies, and I want to thank them for what they do in support of the college and of the support of their assembly. Jim Doberstein, who's the faculty assembly president, Scott Bennett, administrative assembly president, Chris McClure, staff assembly president, and Elisa Hooks, student, who's our Student Government Association president. Let's give them a round of applause. Well, wouldn't be a commencement ceremony without a commencement speaker. And I am so delighted to be able to introduce to you our commencement speaker today. His name is Dr. Cody Abshire. He's the superintendent of the Independent Liberty School District, located in Liberty, Texas. But that's not the most important thing. That's great. But the most important thing is that not too many years ago, Cody was sitting out there where you are, graduating from Lee College. He is one of the most outstanding educators and supporters of this institution. And if you're out there thinking, is this the end? It's just the beginning. And Dr. Abshire is going to talk a little bit to you about that. But the fact is, there is so much more in your life to come. And it's going to be exciting. A little bit about Dr. Abshire. After he graduated from Lee College, he went up the road to Lamar University, got his bachelor's degree, his master's degree, and got his doctoral degree in educational leadership. As I mentioned, he serves as the superintendent at Liberty. He has held many other positions within public education through his career. He also was instrumental in working with Lee College and 4 other school districts and helping us to establish the Lee College Education Center in South Liberty County to provide higher education to a segment of our service area that hasn't had the same access that those who are able to come from our more immediate communities. Cody's wife is Christy, and he has 2 grown children, Will and Whitney. At this time, it's my great pleasure to introduce to you our Fall 27 commencement speaker, Dr. Cody Abshire.
Thank you, Dr. Brown, for such a kind introduction. Graduates, it is such a privilege for us to be here with you today. It truly is. This is your day, and we are all here for only one reason, and that is to honor you. Everyone here is beaming with pride for what you have accomplished, and you should be too. And the fact that you are graduating from Lee College, a school that is so loved and respected by so many people, makes this even sweeter. Now, I'm going to set my timer. Oh, but we need to take a vote. I'm going to let y'all vote on whether y'all get the shorter version or the really, really long version. So in just a minute, I'll ask you to raise your hand and vote either way. Let's do it this way. How many of y'all want to hear the really, really long version of what I was going to say? Okay. All right, so now I know what to watch for on my timer. I think we're going to go with the short version. Okay, Dr. Brown, I want to thank you for inviting me here today, and I want to thank Lee College faculty members, Lee College regents, and all of the distinguished Lee College officials and Lee College alumni for making me feel so welcome. This ceremony today is just the latest example of your devotion to helping others achieve their potential in life. Now, y'all forgive me, I'm going to have to put these cheater glasses on, and I was going to say, this forum, this building to have a graduation in is just really top-notch. It is awesome how close your families can be to you on this special occasion and how well everybody can see. Unfortunately, once I slip these glasses on, I can read, but I can't see anything out there, so y'all bear with me. All right, here we go. And to those of you in the audience who I can't see now, the precious family members and loyal friends of these amazing graduates, I want to express my sincere gratitude to you for allowing me to be a part of this special occasion. This is truly a family celebration where these graduates are surrounded by family. On the one hand, down here on the floor and here on the stage, they have their Lee College family. That's their classmates and the Lee College personnel. And then, most importantly, up there in the stands, they have you. So they are surrounded by people who care for them, and that is how it should be. Most of us will never know the efforts and sacrifices and acts of love and support that you performed to help your loved one achieve this accomplishment. So my hat comes off to you. Good job. Graduates, does anybody know what this is? I'm going to move it around so you can't tell. Does anybody know what this is? I got this in the mail day before yesterday. Really, really cool, and I want to talk to you about it in just a little while, and I want to encourage you to take steps to get one of these cards in the mail. But first, I want to talk to you about something that we can all do that can be a powerful factor for us and also for others around us. This is something that can help us reach our fullest potential, and it can even inspire others around us to soar to new heights. But before I tell you what it is that I'm talking about, we have to acknowledge a simple truth. And that is that each one of us, each one of you, each one of everybody in here, each one of us have been blessed with special qualities that no one else has. So think about that for a minute, because I refuse to move on if you don't believe in that. Do you believe that's true? I certainly do. And that means that each of you can bring things to the table that perhaps no one else on this planet can bring. You are special. And it means that you can sometimes see and understand things that others can't. And the result is that you have the potential to figure out, fix, and improve things that perhaps no one else has an answer for. I don't know where you're headed. I don't know exactly where each of you are going, but I'll tell you there's a team of people, or there's a need. I don't know if you're going to work for a company or if you're going to start your own business or what you're going to do, but I know there is a need and you have special skills. And either the team that you're going to be working with is waiting on you and they need you and your fresh energy and fresh ideas, but that's what we're talking about here. So since you agree with me that you all have special skills and talents, we're going to move on. I want to talk to you about LTA. LTA. Leading through action. Leading through action. And if I wrote LTA down on a piece of paper, for me, I would make the A a capital letter and the L and the T would be lowercase. And we'll talk about that some more in a little while. Now, when we're talking about leading through action, I'm not talking about the type of leadership where you have a title or a supervisory role or you get a raise and all this. That's not the kind of leadership I'm talking about. That's what we think of sometimes when we talk about traditional leaders. We're going to talk about something else. I'm referring to the type of leadership where others see you day after day, fighting the good fight and taking action that is good and constructive. And because of that, they are inspired to take positive action themselves. That's what we're talking about here when we say leading through action. Okay, for a moment, let's talk about a good example of this. Let's talk about former Texas Governor Ross Sterling. Okay, he was the governor of Texas at one time. But most of us around here remember him not because he was governor, but because he was the man who founded Humble Oil. You may have heard of this guy before. There's a lot of stuff around here named Sterling, right? Schools and stuff. Which later became Exxon, Humble Oil did, and is now Exxon Mobil Corporation. And I was teasing earlier saying that my mother has always called Exxon Exxon. We have never been able to figure out why she says Exxon, but that's what she says. Okay, so we're going to talk about Ross Sterling for a moment. If we were to go outside and climb into a helicopter, just go with me for just a moment. Does Lee have a helicopter, by the way? We have a drone. A drone. He's so clever. Okay. Good job, Dr. Brown. All right, so we could. Let's use this drone, and we put it up on the big screen, the display, right? So we fly this drone around, and if we flew it around the Baytown and Houston area and looked down, we would see tons of evidence of the fruits of Ross Sterling's labor. We're talking about thousands and thousands of jobs. We're talking about, and I'm just talking about Exxon alone, but you have to think, Exxon was a big part of a lot of other stuff that goes on. So we're talking thousands of jobs. We're talking billions of dollars in research. We're talking about billions of dollars in charity. And in fact, if that drone had some really big batteries on it, you could fly it all over the world and you would see the fruits of Ross Sterling's labor all across this world. Now, Sterling was a man who led through action. He was a man who worked hard physically, but he was also someone who took pride in trying to figure out a better way. Graduates, now I would like for us to travel back in time to 1888. Think about that one for a minute. That's not that long after the Civil War. When Ross Sterling was a teenager and working on his parents' farm in Double Bay, Texas. How many of you know where Double Bay is at or have some understanding of it? South of Anahuac. I know a lot of the folks in the stands do. Okay. Now, since Dr. Brown already told us we don't have a helicopter, but we do have a drone, I'm assuming that we don't have a time machine, do we? Has anybody seen one of those around here? Okay. So we're going to get in this time machine, this imaginary time machine, and we're going to go back to 1888. We're going to go across Trinity Bay, due east of here, just 5 or 6 minutes in this time machine, and we're going to land it. We're going to use the Oak Island Water Tower and land it in Double Bay on the Sterling farm. Are you ready? Here we go. I want to read a passage from Ross Sterling's memoir where he describes his first memories of working. And I am going to say that these are some of his first memories of leading through action, okay? It's just one little paragraph, but it says a whole lot about him. Sterling wrote, barefoot, wearing patched and faded overalls and a torn straw hat. Now, this is when he's a teenager, actually about 13 years old. I plowed many a furrow with our mules, Kitty and Bill, on our farm. Now, I did look it up just a little while ago on the internet because I really didn't know what a furrow was. Honestly, I didn't. But it's like a trench. I'm assuming that's where they would plant things, plant potatoes and stuff. It was there that I first caught a vision of success, as he put it, that was to be the dominant influence in my career. Chopping cotton and digging potatoes and picking beans along with my father's hired hands. So he's working with the grown men who work for his father, doing all of this hard physical labor. Now listen, this is where it gets interesting. I discovered, he said, that by exerting a little extra effort, that's physical labor, and enterprise, that means using your head, I could get ahead of my competitors. Now to me that's really funny that this kid is out there with these grown men and he's actually competing against them. But he's doing it to motivate himself to be more efficient in the work. He goes on and he says, I reduced the matter to a mental formula, like the principle of physics. He said, if I hit 4 licks while the other fellows are hitting 2 or 3, they just can't keep up with me. And he went on to say, that became my life's working philosophy. So this to me is very interesting and goes along with what we're saying, leading through action. Don't you know that these grown men that were working with him, they probably also, some of them, you would hope, picked up their pace and tried to become more efficient. So he was already thinking about how to do things better. He was leading through action. And that's why earlier I said that I would put the A as a capital letter, because the action is the active ingredient in this formula. Action. That's what we're looking for here. In other words, don't hold back. You may be new at what you're going into, but don't hold back. Don't hold back your ideas and your talents. We need to be the kind of person that hits 4 licks, even when other people are hitting 2 or 3. You're Lee College graduates. You're graduating from a special school. You are brilliant and talented. You can push the envelope. That's what we're saying here. So now, if Ross Sterling were here, I think he would correct me and say, no, we don't need to be talking about hitting 4 licks. I've already done that. I did that 120 years ago. Y'all need to be trying to figure out how to hit 5 or 6 while everybody's hitting 2 or 3. Pushing the envelope. A brand new employee who understands this power of leading through action and harnesses this can generate an immediate and immeasurable positive impact on the productivity of an organization. It could be a church, it could be a business, it could be anything, any endeavor you enter into. There's so many practical ways that you could lead through action. Let me list a few things. My timer's telling me I'm just about done. You guys were wise to vote the way you voted. Let me list a few practical things, and let me see how familiar some of this sounds to you. You will be leading through action when you simply arrive at work and at appointments consistently early and well prepared. You will be leading through action when you smile often and hold the door open for others. You will be leading through action when you ask the question, now, why do we do it this way? And have we ever thought about trying this other way? That's leadership. You will be leading through action when you show your respect to your supervisors and fellow co-workers even when they aren't present. You will be a leader when you brag on others like your co-workers and build them up and help set them up for success. You will be a leader through action when you agree to stay late and help complete an important project. Now, it is true that some organizations have healthier cultures than others. I understand that. You may enter a team, or you may join a team or a workforce that already has a great working culture. Maybe it's a place where they're already very efficient and performing pretty well. I guarantee you there will be room for improvement in that organization or whatever it is that you're doing. And your leadership will be needed. Graduates, aren't we fortunate to live not only in America, but in a part of the country where there are so many good jobs and career opportunities? I consider myself fortunate. I look at what's going on in other parts of the country and what's going on here, and to me, that's what makes today for you so very valuable, because there are jobs out there waiting for you, waiting for us. Even those of us who are already currently working somewhere, there are other jobs where people can move around and change if they feel that's what they need to do. I want to finish up. I'm almost finished, but I want to mention something real quick. I told y'all I'd say something about this card, and I'm going to in just a second. This card is, it represents something about giving back to the community, because we are fortunate to live in this community, and we do need to give back. A few years ago, I was working in Anahuac at the school system, and someone mentioned to me that Mattress Mac, y'all know him, Jim McInvale, that he would come and talk to teachers and pump them up and motivate them. And so, I don't know, I think it was in the summer, first part of the summer. So I got on the internet, looked up Gallery Furniture. There's the number. I call it. I said, "Hi, my name is Cody Absher. I work at a school. Would it be possible for me to talk to Mr. McIndale?" And I figured, it'd be some whatever. Maybe I'd talk to him 2 weeks later if I could. Immediately, he picks up the phone. "Hello, Cody, what are you doing?" That's the way that guy is. It was incredible. He acted like he knew me. I told him what I needed. He said, "No problem, I'll be there. Now tell me what time it is." And if I'm lying, I'm dying. I gave him the date and the time, and on that very day, he pulled up in a little Nissan pickup, and he got out, and this is the part I really wanted to tell you about. This guy comes in the school, and we meet up down in the lounge, all the teachers and everything. The talk that this man gives to people about the privilege of being able to work, the privilege of living in this country, and being able to have a job, and being able to take care of your family, I wish I could articulate what he says. He has a little canned speech that he has probably said 1,000,000 times. It's about 10 minutes long, and I promise you, I would pay $100 to hear it again. In fact, a few years later, I was working in Devers Independent School District, and I called him again. And I said, "Jim, can you come speak to our teachers?" And he said, "Absolutely." And it was the same thing again. It was incredible. He's an incredible individual who gives back to the community. He's a great role model for so many of us. We're surrounded by people like that in our community here in the greater Houston area. This, like I said, I got in the mail day before yesterday. When they invited me to come speak, I immediately got on the internet and started looking, stuff Lee College and all this. And Dr. Brown did mention that I was a student here. I also went through the process technology program and received an associate's degree in that. Immediately after I finished, the placement department helped me get an interview, and I immediately got a great job and doubled my salary. So work with these people in the placement offices on getting a job. They're awesome. They helped me so much. But I should have joined. This is the alumni. They call this, and I'm sorry, I'll have to read this, but it's another L acronym. It's LCA, so don't get confused. This is the Lee College Alliance. And so all I did is I got, real quick, I clicked a couple times. It was $20. And now I am Lee College alumni, and I'm looking so very forward to being involved with all of the awesome people who are already Lee College alumni. They do a lot of cool things, and they give back to the community. They do a lot of great things. I'm looking forward to being a part of that. Now, finally, and thank you for your patience. Finally, I do want to thank you for this opportunity to speak to you today. It is a huge honor for me. And I do want to encourage you to be a leader through action, and to be the kind of person who always hits 4 licks in everything you do. And once again, I appreciate y'all letting me come and talk, and I'm so proud of y'all for finishing up this semester and for graduating, and I hope that you and your families have a wonderful Christmas and a happy New Year. Thank you very much.
Dr. Abshar, thank you so very, very much for those inspiring words. And by the way, graduates, for 1 year only, this is the time of year when you look for the best deal, right, for that special gift. For this 1 year only, as graduates, you get a free membership to our Lee College Alliance. And so we hope that you'll take advantage of the many, many activities and the many networking opportunities.
And Dr. Brown, it's free. Do I get my $20 back? Okay.
No, too late, because you graduated a long time ago. At this time, I'd like to invite up Dr. Christina Ponce, our Executive Vice President, for a special award.
Dr. Abshire, we are so proud to call you a Lee College alum. Graduates, this is a perfect example of what a Lee College graduate can accomplish. Through his amazing success in industry, his amazing and incredible career as a top educator, and what you can accomplish by leading by action for the community. We appreciate all you do, and today we want to honor you with the Dr. Cody Abshire Endowed Student Scholarship that will help create thousands more Lee College graduates for years to come. Thank you for all you do.
It's my pleasure at this time of our ceremony to introduce Dr. Donetta Souchon, who will come forward and recognize several outstanding students and the awards and the honors that they have achieved. Dr. Souchon.
Board of Regents, President Brown, Dr. Abshire, faculty members, family, students, guests, and candidates for graduation. It is my pleasure to present an outstanding group of students to you today. First, in accord with Lee College tradition, we recognize the students who will graduate today with the highest grade point average. To be eligible for this distinction, students must earn associate degrees from Lee College and must complete at least 50% of the coursework for their degrees at Lee College. Today we recognize those students who completed the requirements for associate degrees with perfect 4.0 grade point averages. Students are recognized at both ceremonies. Please stand when I call your name. Those attending this afternoon's ceremonies are Crystal Arroyo, and Rashad Patrick Smith. Congratulations. Lee College awards scholarships to some of its best students so that they can continue their education at transfer institutions. The oldest of the awards and scholarships given to Lee College graduates are the Gertrude Teeter and the Walter Rundell scholarships. The Gertrude Teeter Scholarship is conferred each year on the top female liberal arts graduate, and the Walter Rundell Scholarship is conferred on the top male recipient of an Associate of Arts or Associate of Science degree. The people receiving these were at attendance at the earlier service, but I will announce your names. I am pleased to announce this year's Gertrude Teeter Scholarship of $1,000 has been awarded to Jera Kaiser, who's graduating with a degree in General Studies, and the Walter Rundell Scholarship to Michael Laura, who is graduating with a degree in Speech Communications. Please note on your program, Dr. Christy Ponce will also be presenting students along with Dr. Tran, Dr. Wilcox, and myself. I will now turn the program over to Scott Bennett, Lee College Registrar, and President Dennis Brown, who will present the graduates.
Okay. Will the candidates who are to receive Associate of Arts in Teaching, Associate of Applied Science, Associate of Science degrees, and certificates of completion. Please rise. Yeah, you. President Brown, I certify to you that all of these candidates have met the criteria for the appropriate degree or certificate, and I recommend them to you.
By the power vested in me by the Lee College Board of Regents and the great state of Texas, I award each of you the appropriate degree and certificate of completion. Graduates, it's that time. So a little bit of instruction. As you come up and you hand your card to the reader, and then your name is announced, please come up onto the stage. I'll be standing right about here. I'm going to give you one of these little carriers in which you'll eventually have your degree in. And make sure, as I shake your hand, the photographer, wave your hand. We're going to look at the photographer to have a beautiful and wonderful memento of this fabulous occasion. So, let's get started.
Dominique Geneva Rogers, summa cum laude. Sean Roger Lewis, summa cum laude. Kimberly G. Spencer, summa cum laude. Lauren J. Atkins. I have to take your card. Here we go. Guadalupe Alfaro. Ms. Alfaro is the wife of our regents. Okay. Kaylin Nicole Allen. Mandy Jamil Allen. Crystal Lee Anderson. Nicole Angelo. Alma Elizabeth Areza. Michael Armenta. Crystal Crystal Arojo, summa cum laude. Galen Azim. Patricia Ayler. Sage Michael Babcock. Paul Gregory Barnes. Robert M. Benight. Ociel Andreas Bermudez. Tyler Bryant Billings. Emma Danielle Bolton. Colton Bordeaux cum laude. Joshua Stephen Butra. Marissa L. Boyd. It's okay. Sierra Bradley. Caleb Brooks. Joey Wayne Brown. Sean G. Bott. Jalicia Adelina Burke. Jessica Liddell Butler. James Raymond Campisi, summa cum laude. Daniel M. Kentu. Ebelinda Castillo, magna cum laude. Homerero Cazares, Jr., magna cum laude. Jesse Joseph Cervantes. Adrian Chavez, summa cum laude. Wendod S. Childress. Kyo Clark. Gina Renee Cloud. Kelsey Leanne Collier. Jose Luis Corona Magallan. Anna Denise Coughlin. Andrea Curtis. Kenyon Daytush.
Axel Eli Diaz. Michael James Dillingham, cum laude. Tommy Edgar III. Cedric Roydell Emmanuel Jr. J. Jesus Espinoza Jr. Simon Flores. Eric Frosto. Elizabeth Galvin. Javier Rico Garcia, cum laude. Miranda Michelle Garcia. Ronika Lysandra Garrett. Stephen Joseph Goday, cum laude. Jasmine Ileana Gilbert. Adrian Gonzalez, summa cum laude. Crystal M. Garcia. Christopher Gonzalez. Oscar Jose Gonzalez. Sean Jason Goundry. Daniel Granados. Austin Graves, cum laude. Logan Paul Guzman, cum laude. Clarissa Gutierrez. Star Marie Hazelwood. Amy Louise
Henderson Hughes, summa cum laude. Devin J. Hernandez. Rochelle Marie Hernandez. Larry Michael Honeycutt. Quinche Hopkins. Lauren Nicole Humphrey. Fariel Brandon Jackson. James Russell Jordan. Matthew Shane Kelly.
Shannon Knowles. Say it again. Lane Walker. Matthew Lane Walker. Christopher Michael Larson. Gabriel Lee. Eric Calderon Leon, magna cum laude. Jemiel Leon. Abraham Lewis. Shinerio Long. Alicia Guadalupe Lupion. Mary Mac Johnson. Lourdes Mackis, cum laude. Anna Nashandra Marshall. Tyrone Sean Massicott. Caleb Edward McWhorter, cum laude. Carlos Medina. Presley Lauren Melvin, cum laude. James Milligan. Holloway Mayer. Leroy Montgomery Jr., summa cum laude. Eric Morphin. Caleb Thomas Morgan. Jordan Cole Nagomila. Rupa Holenchi. Crisol Napolis. Yesenia Maria Guadalupe, Napolis. Berenice Sosa Onelas, summa cum laude. Eloquio Perez, 2 degrees. Lindsay Phipps. Connor McKay Piwanka Walker. Zuleika Deandra Ponce. Kevin Alexander Patillo. Albert Presas, magna cum laude. Liliana Rangel. Calvin E. Ray. Jafaris Duelian Reese, summa cum laude.
Heaven Lee Reyes. Mary Elizabeth Rhodes. Linda Jean Roberts, magna cum laude. David Ryan Rodriguez. Eduardo Rodriguez Jr. Juan Ivan Rosas, cum laude. Esteban Sanchez. Sandoval. Cesar Segovia. Rashad Patrick Smith, summa cum laude. Joseph Manuel Sorolla II. Joel Ernest Spivey. Wesley Autry Stevens III. Louis Sumbler Jr. Samuel Thomas Jr. Glenda A. Thompson. Rari Jamal Tillis, 2 degrees. Kylie Marie Turner. Alexis Rose Vela. Flor Velasquez. Blake Anthony Walker, cum laude, 2 degrees. Anais C. Washington. Brittany Marie Waters, cum laude. Vanessa Jeanette Williams. Christopher Allen Young. Jonathan Luis Rodriguez. Christina Laney Van Beckham.
Wow, let's give all of our graduates a round of applause. Well, graduates, almost there. One more very important tradition. So if I can get all of our graduates to stand. Hey, let's give them another round of applause. All right. It's time now to, not yet, I'll announce it, but it's now time to move the tassel. All right. You're going to go from your right to your left. Graduates, now. All right, you got to stay standing because we're going to do a selfie. You think I have a Twitter account? I do. I'll give it to you in a second. So let's do the selfie first. All right. I'm trying to set the Guinness Book of World Records for the most Twitter followers. This morning I had 108. This afternoon, after this morning's ceremony, I now have 113. So if you would like to help me break the record, it's real simple. At D Brown, B-R-O-W-N, Prez, P-R-E-Z, at D Brown, Prez. Help me break. I'm getting close to Taylor Swift, so please help me. Before we close our ceremony, I would like to call up to the stage for the benediction, Ms. Kimberly Spencer. Kimberly?
There we go. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for guiding us this far in our educational journey. We ask that you continue to guide us in whatever lays ahead of us, whether that be continuing our education or helping us find that dream job. We would also like to thank you and everyone that stood by our side through all the ups and downs. If it wasn't for the continued support, we most likely would not be where we are today. We ask that you continue to guide, watch over, and protect us in the years yet to come, so that we may take the knowledge that we have gained and apply it in our careers and daily lives. I ask that you take away the self-doubt that some of us have and replace it with the knowledge that we can do this. We can get that dream job. We can further our education. We can do anything as long as you and our support system is by our side cheering us on. Help us to know what our full potential is. Guide us to where we want to be, and help us become that person that we strive to be. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Kimberly. As we conclude our Fall 2017 commencement ceremonies, Lee College has a very important tradition that at every graduation we do for our graduates. And so it's called the Walk of Honor. And I would like to ask Karen Guthmiller, our Grand Marshal, if she would come get the mace. She will lead us down to my left. And then the platform guests, if you will follow Karen. And then at the conclusion of the platform getting down to the main floor, I'd ask our faculty to join also in the Walk of Honor. Then graduates, one final time here at Lee College, it's our opportunity to congratulate you for a wonderful experience that we've had, and I know a fabulous one that you've had. So Karen, if you'll come forward, graduates, one moment, and we'll get ready and we'll have you go through the Walk of Honor. While we're going down, let me wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a fabulous Happy New Year and a prosperous one.